Netflix is a lot smarter than you think. Previously known as the one platform guaranteed to kill an anime, Netflix has slowly become one of the best anime streaming platforms. And now that they've just acquired streaming rights to the Egghead Island arc of One Piece, it looks like this is only going to continue. So in this video, I want to take a look at Netflix's weird history with animation and anime adaptations and talk about how they've gotten to this point where now they're riding the One Piece hype train more than anyone else. Because if you're a relatively new anime fan, then you might be inclined to think that Netflix is only just testing the waters of anime. But those of us who have been anime fans for a bit longer know that Netflix has been doing anime-related projects for a while now. As a matter of fact, Netflix has been doing its own original anime for 10 years now, in addition to all of the other anime it's been offering. You have Seven Deadly Sins all the way back in 2014, which was huge back in the day and still has a significant fan base. They also came out with Violet Evergarden in 2018. And of course, they also came out with one of their biggest shows, Devilman Crybaby, which was a massive success, won a ton of awards, and was probably the most talked about anime of 2018. And speaking of Devilman Crybaby, Netflix also came out with the new Scott Pilgrim anime in 2023, a series that was done by the same studio, Science Saru. And based on their ongoing relationship with Netflix, it's not unreasonable to expect that Science Saru's upcoming Dawn to Dawn anime will also be released as a Netflix original. Now, aside from its original anime, Netflix has also seen some success in the area of live-action adaptations. For example, they came out with the live-action adaptation of Alice in Borderland. The manga was already pretty popular, and from what I've heard, everyone loved the live-action series as well. So looking at all of these big hits, one would think, oh, so Netflix is kinda killing it with anime right now. Which they are, but that's right now. See, part of why so much of this recent success is such a surprise is because Netflix has a not-so-great history with anime projects overall. And it's for that exact reason that some fans are skeptic of their new One Piece projects. But before I say more on that, make sure to like the video if you're enjoying it so far. It's the easiest way to support the channel, and it helps spread the video to other viewers like you. Now, like I was saying, for every success on Netflix, there's another story of how they've dropped the ball. You have The Way of the House Husband, for example, which was pretty highly anticipated, and then turned out to basically be a season of PowerPoints. Then there's Record of Ragnarok, a manga that was hyped up for a while and whose anime adaptation people claimed was going to be the next big thing, only to be released as completely and utterly unwatchable. And I'm not exaggerating. The animation in Record of Ragnarok is so bad that not a single fan of the manga will tell you to watch it. It's just that bad. And then beyond obvious examples like this, you have the more common problem of Netflix not acquiring rights to simulpub its anime, meaning that while it'll come out first in Japan and on other streaming platforms like Crunchyroll, Netflix would often wait until at least the day after to release its episodes. Or even worse, wait until the last episode released in Japan to upload the whole season. The worst example of this is probably JoJo's Part 7. It was actually delayed so much that it turned what was probably the most hyped up part of JoJo's in years into one of the most irrelevant anime in the last few years. It's fumbles like this that led to the common term Netflix jail. And despite the many successes, this was the common belief surrounding any Netflix anime project. That was until recently. As of late, while you can still see the term thrown around, people generally tend to be much more open to newer Netflix anime. This is mostly because of the more recent successes that we mentioned earlier, like Scott Pilgrim and Cyberpunk. But like I said, there's still that skepticism, which is completely valid when you have Netflix saying at one point, oh yeah, we're gonna cancel a bunch of our animated projects like Inside Job, but now they're like, hey, so we want to make it so there's 3 different versions of One Piece you can watch. It's like, okay. And this brings us to the reason we're having this discussion in the first place. So as of now, there's 2 ways to watch One Piece on Netflix. You can stream the anime adaptation of the manga, and you can watch the Netflix original live-action adaptation. Now, the anime is obviously the anime. It's had its ups and downs, but for the most part, the main reason most people don't watch it is because it's just too long. Now, the live-action series is actually pretty good. Granted, there are a few changes, and obviously a live-action series can't capture that cartoonish charm of the source material, but it's fun for new fans and old fans alike. Plus, it's only one season versus the over 1,000 episodes of the anime. And, as we found out recently, Netflix wants to do a remake of the anime that will be done by Studio Wit. Considering Netflix's long history with anime, what they're doing right now is actually pretty genius. Obviously, they're milking One Piece for views as much as they can. But how they're doing this is by maxing it out to as many demographics as possible. Obviously, they missed the boat on an original One Piece anime back when it first started. Duh. But for the new fans who want to binge the anime, they can do that with their Netflix subscription. And for old fans who see it on their feed, One Piece is a classic that helps to keep Netflix subscribers on their platform for as long as possible. Then you have the live-action series that does double duty. If you're already a One Piece fan, it's something to try out and you get to see your favorite series in live action. If you're a casual or you don't really like anime but think it looks cool, then it hits those audiences too. So already, Netflix is hitting hardcore One Piece fans, then casual fans, then the wider anime audience, then people who aren't even anime fans. Then to top it off, they'll have the remake. That will reach even more casual fans. And it will be another way to reach the One Piece fans who have already seen One Piece or already watch it on Crunchyroll, and the One Piece fans who aren't interested in a live-action series. Because if you hate how long One Piece is, now you can watch it in much less time. And if you're a hardcore fan, odds are you'll take the time to watch any kind of new One Piece content. So with Netflix coming out with all this great new One Piece content and hitting as many bases as they possibly can, they've kind of become the best place to watch One Piece without anyone really noticing. But while all of this sounds great on paper, the reality is there's more than one reason to be skeptical. First of all, the anime is in a weird spot because you can only watch up to Marineford, whereas Crunchyroll is up to date and has simulpub. Meanwhile, Netflix just announced that it will be streaming the most current arc, Egghead Island. So it's already in this weird spot where, say you catch up to Marineford as a new fan, well, now you have this massive gap of hundreds of episodes. And even if you are caught up, there's no guarantee that Egghead Island will be simulpub on Netflix. In fact, experience shows that it will probably come out a week after the actual release of the episode. So in the case of the anime, you do have that option on Netflix, but it's not exactly the best place to watch. Now in the case of the live action series, it's kind of a win-win because it's just good content. The only drawback is that it only adapts the very early parts of One Piece. But besides that, it's a Netflix exclusive and people like it. But then we have the anime remake, and, well, I have some thoughts. First of all, not even considering who is making it and how, One Piece anime remakes have almost always been trash. For those who aren't aware, Toei has already done several abridged remakes of the anime, and they kinda just get increasingly worse. They cut out a bunch of content and one of them isn't even canon. The Skypiea one just straight up makes stuff up that never happens in the manga. Now, I don't think this remake will be anything like that, but already One Piece fans have plenty of reason to be skeptical when it comes to a remake. Then you have the fact that it's being produced by Studio Wit. First of all, you have the fact that it's not Toei. They're saying that it's being produced by Wit in collaboration with Toei, but that doesn't fully explain what that means. If it's going to be mostly animated by Wit, then odds are it's going to look different than the usual anime style. Say what you will about Toei's adaptation, but the original anime is iconic and it's come to define how we view these characters. Plus, for the most part, it's aesthetically faithful to the manga and Oda's original art style. So to go from Toei, who's been doing this for ages, to a point where Wit might be doing most of the work, it's just iffy. Wit is kind of hit or miss when it comes to their projects, despite their big hits like AOT and Spy Family. Plus, apparently this remake will be animated with the help of, quote, cutting-edge visual technology. So one might infer that Wit will be using AI to animate this. First of all, AI has terrible history in the animation industry. Second, using experimental methods of animation is just another reason not to watch this version of the show. So this is why Netflix is in this really bizarre spot with One Piece. They have this freaky list of projects where they either kill it or it's the biggest piece of garbage you've ever seen. But they've been doing really well lately, and now they're kind of the talk of the town when it comes to watching One Piece. It's just hard to avoid talking about Netflix and One Piece in the same sentence at this point, which is a genius move by the people at Netflix because obviously anime is a huge part of the ongoing streaming wars, which I would like to dedicate another video to at some point. So to attach their name to the biggest anime series right now is undoubtedly a major accomplishment, but at the same time, there's clearly reasons to maybe take all of this exciting news with a small grain of salt. So, now I'd like to hear what you think. What do you think of Netflix and their anime? What's your take on all of the One Piece Netflix hype? Share your thoughts down below. I'll pick my favorite and share it as comment of the week on my community tab. And if you'd like another discussion like this one, then check out my recent video on JJK. In that video, I explore the artistic timeline of JJK's art style and why it looks so different. You can find it in the playlist linked right here. Until then, thank you for watching, and I hope to hear from you soon.